Welcome to the Lifelinks podcast, all you sassy Latinas. This is where you come to hear stories that resonate with you, help you discover your true cultural identity, tossing off the need to fit in, and standing out with your authenticity, because that is your superpower. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, and also the creator of this content. If there's anything you'd like to share, please reach out to us on our Instagram social media at Lifelinks, that's LNXX, or through our website at thelinks.com. Of course, come here for some love and chat sessions with our fab guests from the comunidad. Sit back, have your cafecito, maybe some vino, whatever you like. We are bringing the sisterhood to you. Hola, chicas. Welcome to the Lifelinks podcast. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, coming to you every Wednesday with some amazing mujeres from the comunidad. And like I mentioned last week, we are in a true summer break. I needed to take a break because, as many of you know, our family has had so many epic, life-changing experiences this year that was coming right after some of our sad life moments. And so this is where I'm taking a break, winding up season 4 and preparing for season 5. Oh, I can't believe it. With even more and yet still not enough of the sassy Latinas in our comunidad. I could be doing this every day like Oprah and still feel like I haven't covered enough of the amazing stories. We need more and more platforms out there for all of us to join in and speak our truth. And so for our longtime listeners, we really appreciate you being here with us from the start, setting the foundation, giving us a boost, and opening your arms for all the new listeners who are joining us in force. And I just love this comunidad that we're creating and getting to know all these amazing Latinas that otherwise we may never have known about. That is what we bring to you every week so that you feel heard, feel seen, feel understood, to celebrate your stories and your journeys, the highs and the not so great moments in life every day and together, because it's the comunidad that's going to support you, the ones who will embrace your journey and cheer you on towards your wants and your dreams. Because amiga, you are it. You are it. The world needs you in your truth, and there's no one other like you. And that's what we're here to do, to share every week by shining the spotlight on you, your friends, the comunidad, and give that place to be heard. Our stories need to be known. So like I mentioned last week, these next 4 episodes are highlights from past episodes that you may have missed, or love so much we wanted to give you a refresh, or for our new listeners, a chance to learn more about the amazing mujeres we have had on the podcast. So today's guest highlight is Olga Espíritu from episode 52 of last August, Financial Planning for Latinas by Latinas. She's definitely one of my soul sisters. I hope that you just love her so much. And this episode is not going to give you the 1, 2, 3, here's how you make your money. No, our episodes are all about learning about the woman behind the story and the places she's been, where she's going, and it always circles back to the comunidad. Now, Olga has an amazing story, truly a beautiful journey of Ecuadorian parents, setting her path in New York City, which led her to everything from singing opera at the Met as a teenager, right? To marrying a Peruvian. Okay, she got bonus points for that. And having 4 adorable boys. 4. But the deep, powerful personality point of Olga is her passion to raise women into financial strength. Whether it's your thing or not, she is here to really embrace you where you're at and guide you through your financial wants, as she says, like a girlfriend, una amiga, who has your back. You know what I'm talking about. Olga is a Miami-based licensed financial planner that works across the U.S. and has 15 years of financial experience, 12 of those working on Wall Street. Yeah, she's all that. And here's the real fire. Not only does she want to give you financial advice for your own personal life, but she encourages women to consider becoming a financial planner themselves because of the amazing opportunities this career adds in making your life choices, whether it's for flexibility, resources, ability to work from home, and ultimately you can have your own business like she does. You'll want to learn more of Olga's story on her full episode, that's episode 52, after this beautiful highlight of her empathetic and powerful personality. So here she is.
Thank you so much. Yes, we wanted to be, and when I say we, it's mostly me. I wanted to be.
It is your firm.
That's right. That's right. I wanted to be a firm where, even with the name, right, Tree of Life, we wanted it to be whatever it is for you. But the way that I saw it was, the tree is so symbolic, right? From the roots to, every leaf and every branch. I wanted to make sure that our clients understood that we weren't transactional. Financial planning is not me selling a product or me representing a company with a product. I wanted it to be very holistic, that we're going to take care of you from the roots to, to the leaf. We're going to talk about all the things that are important to you so that everything's connected, that we're not doing things on the left hand that are conflicting with the right hand. We want to make sure that it's holistic, that we create plans and we create strategies that are not conflicting with each other, that everything is taken into consideration, including your family dynamic, including your psychology of money, including the goals you have, not just for the short term, but for the long term, so that when we give advice, that we're doing it in a way that there's that synergy between all of those aspects.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so it's going well. And you even have little subsets directly within your company, specifically for women.
That's correct.
Tell us about the branch specifically for women in financial planning, because with 78, 80% of wealth planning being run by men, we really don't feel comfortable that we're getting something that, one, is sympathetic with how we live our life. We do things that men don't have to do, and it's difficult. So it's beautiful that you have this branch specifically for us women. So tell us about that.
Yes, thank you, Consuelo. So yes, it was something that I saw throughout my 15 years of practice, that sometimes I'd walk into a meeting with a couple, for example, and I'd see, that the conversation was led maybe by the spouse, for example, and a woman in this instance would be kind of in the backdrop, maybe not asking too many questions, maybe feeling a little bit insecure. Or sometimes they would just say, look, I don't handle any of this, talk to my husband. And so I realized over the long term that I didn't necessarily want to challenge them or force them, but I wanted to create a space where it was encouraged that women lead the conversation, a place where women could feel comfortable and say, hey, I don't know too much about this, but I'd like to. And so the Women's Financial Planning Boutique, like you said, it is a subset. It's a secondary branch, a sister branch, if you will, of Tree of Life Wealth. It's meant to feel like a spa experience, one of the places we love to be. I mean, I love to be at the spa. And so you come in, you have a nice cup of coffee or tea, and we sit and we chat. It's not your typical cold office, with the hardwood floors and the marble or what have you. It's meant to be a place where you come, you relax, we talk like girlfriends. And our financial planning is for women by women. And so there's no topic that we'll circle around. We can be candid. We can talk the reality of life, things like divorce rates and the worries that a woman might have. And when there's blended families, I mean, so many things. Women tend to be caregivers, as you know. We tend to care for our parents and our children and forget about ourselves. And so that was the idea, is to say, hey, let's talk amongst women. It doesn't have to be an uncomfortable conversation. And even if it's not uncomfortable, but it's very, like you said, very much tied to so many other dynamics underneath that bring us lack of confidence, right? And I think it's education. It's the education, right? It's easier to
Or
do
lack thereof.
right, lack thereof. Sometimes we do nothing in fear of doing the wrong thing, right? And so, in the education, we do nothing, or we do less, or we take a step back. And that's the whole point, is, to handhold through the process. And we have something that we say in the firm, which is todas somos exitosas, right? We're all successful, meaning that we all have it within us. We just kind of need that little nudge from time to time that says, hey, you can do this. This is how easy it is. Look how simple it is. Did you know? And once you know, that's it. There's nothing that's going to hold you back. So it's kind of that philosophy that we already have it. We already have the gift.
See, that is something that I think each woman, regardless of her position, regardless of her interests in the world, that she feels that, but there's not very much around her. If anything, like you say, there's more barriers, and it can be exhausting to go live what you want, to go be successful, that you are naturally hardwired to do, when you're spending so much energy just trying to get through the barriers,
Right.
and you don't have as much energy left for what you were born to be. But having women like you say, oh, no problem. let me get rid of those for you. And they're like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's so exciting.
Wow.
Those aha moments where they're like, really, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Let's go step by step. I explain things. And I always say, if you have to ask me this very same question a year from now, please ask it.
Yeah.
Please ask it, because
Cool.
it's a lot of information. Sometimes it's overload, but the more you hear it, the easier, it is to retain. And I encourage that. I enjoy explaining things. So please do ask me, do call me. And so that's the kind of environment that I want to have, because I don't want this finance and wealth and all these fancy words or financial jargon to keep women from empowering themselves financially. Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it for us, right? There's this big saying in the industry in financial planning that a man is not a financial plan, right? Because that sometimes things don't work out, right? Sometimes, in fact, half the time things don't work out. And so as much as I'm pro, happy marriages and all of the above, that realist comes back and says, hey, what if it doesn't work out? What are the things I can do before I get married, or what, even when I'm already married?
Oh,
what conversation should we be having? What are some of the things that we need to do legally so that everyone's on the same boat, so that we don't assume, because they say you get to know who you're married to when you get divorced, right? That's when you really learn who you're with.
So true.
And so all of these things,
right?
I kind of bring them to the table, and even if it's tough to talk about, I rather talk about them now and not after the fact. It's a lot of soul searching. You would never think, because it's like financial planning and soul searching. What? But it's important.
Wow. That is so powerful. I could see women just flocking to your website. Maybe we could have a little cut to the front of the line if they heard it on the LifeLinks.
Good idea. Good idea.
No discount. Just get to the top of the line, because wow, this is something I've never heard anyone talk like this. Talk with the understanding, because you walk the talk. You have been there since you can remember, and did what you need to do. And that's also very difficult, is to walk through that hazing of, a very male dominated career in a male dominated society, and say, with your goal ahead of you, that, well, this is what I have to do in order to get to what I really want to do, what I really want to do for women and for the Latino community, and making sure they're provided for, which again, the people aspect, is not associated with wealth management in the US.
I know.
Do you have to be in the Miami area to?
No, absolutely not.
How would they reach out to you?
You can reach me on my website. It's best to go through Women's Financial Planning Boutique. Since there's a calendar there, you can sign up for a Zoom call, a phone call. or an in-person visit if you're nearby, happen to be vacationing. But I'm licensed across many states in the US. And if I'm not licensed in the state you're in, I can do that very easily. And so it's a matter of reaching out and starting the conversation, and we can set up, like I said, a Zoom. It doesn't have to be that, you have to walk into the office.
Now, this is your second utopia, because you're living this
Yes.
beautiful life with this young family, vibrant family, this successful founder's story, beautiful concept that's going to take off immensely. I can imagine.
Yeah, that's
This isn't where you're just going to, lay down your sword and say, that's enough. There's this third utopia. Kids are out of the house. You can do whatever you want. What does that look like? Miss Planner, Miss Financial Planner.
So part of my long-term goals is, like you said, there's no one that does this where I am, where you are. I would love to inspire other women to pursue finance as a career. There's so much flexibility. You really are the master of your future. You really are able to, like, for example, I have 4 children because I have the ability and the flexibility and the means and all these things where that was an option for me. It was something that we did on purpose. It was something that we look forward to because we knew that I could take the necessary time to stay home or work from home or, take off weekends or work weekends and not work weekdays. So the ability to provide this path, this career path to other women, I think is very much something that I want to do in the future. And even as of now, it's something we're exploring, to put some more effort in recruiting and showing women that, hey, this is an option. Just like you, in engineering, it's something that's growing, which is beautiful. And so that's one thing. The other thing would be, to expand, not just amongst women, but to expand and be able to do this across the country, being able to have, satellite offices, whatever we need to do to increase that footprint, where women feel like they can talk about money, and it's almost so normal in the future. That's what I hope, that we can take the women's part of women's financial planning out of there, because it's so normal at that point. My goal is to make it so normal for women to talk about money that we are in a position of strength at that point, and we don't even need to point out the fact that it's specifically for women.
Thank you so very, very
Likewise,
much
Consuelo.
for sharing a lot of your time with us. And we've learned so much about you personally and the culture and how it influenced your career and the beautiful vision you have for your family. It's just something we really aspire to learn from.
Yay. Thank you, Consuelo.
There you have it. Did I not tell you? Olga Espíritu, licensed financial planner based in Miami, sassy Latina who powered through the male-dominated industry to make space for other Latinas to both receive financial advice for their own financial security and to consider becoming a financial planner themselves. I mean, if you knew that women like Olga were in the financial planning industry, would you hesitate? With all the cultural narratives that we have grown up under because of our parents' experiences, it really makes a huge difference, absolutely huge, to come up to speed in today's financial world by talking to someone like Olga who can truly empathize with where we're coming from. Without that side-eyed glance or giving a feeling like you're not worthy because you don't know, and that just blocks us from the access to this financial knowledge that will really empower us to want our own financial wealth. I mean, what financial planner have you ever heard compare their services to a spa experience, right? She is the spa experience of financial planning for your own wealth to support the life you always wanted. So take some time, learn more of her life journey on episode 52, Financial Planning for Latinas by Latinas, and on our website at thelinks.com, where her article, The Sweet Taste of Success, also will bring highlights out of the full episode. You can always reach out to her in person through the link on her website, treeoflifewealthadvisorygroup.com, and schedule the meeting through the Women's Financial Planning Boutique. Because who doesn't want to talk to Olga in person, especially for the wealth of knowledge she has? Now for us, remember to follow and subscribe to this podcast on your favorite streaming platform so you don't miss any of these episodes. They will automatically drop into your phone or tablet so you can lean into the comunidad of these sassy Latinas and not miss being part of the conversation. Join us next week for another highlight from past episodes that will just light you up, fill you up, wanting to bring you a feeling of confidence and self-worth by all the loving kindness of our beautiful, intelligent, vivacious mujeres that we have had on as guests. So when is it going to be your turn? Come join us. Dígame. Step into your truth, ladies. Ciao. Really appreciate the time you take to rate and review the podcast. Get the backstory and what you've heard here today and reach out to us at thelinks.com. That's LNXX. Because it's about time, it's about us. Stay in the groove on our social media at Lifelinks and get ready to make your move, ladies. Viva!